With June fast approaching, that means this year is going to be half over. And that means it's time for the mid-year Freakout tag, which, let's be honest, I've never done a tag in the entire time I've had this channel. Over 4 years. Over 4 years I've been doing this, and I've never done a tag video. But I saw this week Murphy Napier put her mid-year Freakout tag video up, and I thought, I want to do that too. And like, this isn't the first off, this isn't the first video I've stolen from Murphy. But like they say, if you're going to steal from the best. I will go ahead and link her video in the description below just because I feel like that's the right thing to do, as if she needs my help. But it'll be there just in case you haven't seen hers. Now, also, I don't know how to do this. Like I said, I've never done a tag video before, so I just kind of stole the questions directly from her video, so we're just going to do it. I think this is how it goes. If not, I'll just have to get it all wrong. It's okay. What is the best book you've read this year? And I'm going to say Slaughterhouse-Five. It is just such a good book. It is so perfect in what it does and what it's telling, the story that it's telling, the emotions that it's conveying, and what it just, I just, every time I talk about it, I say it is a near perfect book. It's just so well told, so well done. Everything about it's good. It's a one-day read, like legit. If you just sit down and go through it, you could read it in a couple hours, no problem. And it is just so well told, well constructed, and just the heaviest of heavy subject matter, but he does it with a sense of humor that elevates it and lightens it. Oh my God, it's so good. Slaughterhouse-Five. What is the best sequel that you have read this year? And that's an easy one. Hands down, The Bone Hunters. It doesn't get better than The Bone Hunters. I've read a couple of sequels. Actually, most of the sequels I've read this year solidly fall within the Malazan world, but that doesn't matter. Still, it's easily The Bone Hunters. Nothing else kind of really comes close in that department. New release that you haven't read that you want to. And this is interesting because I normally don't keep up with new releases and stuff like that. I'm much more of a like pulling from like my TBR is so long. I'm normally so excited to get to something that was written 20 years ago that I kind of lose track of what's coming out right now. But I will say this is an easy answer as well, because it is The Buffalo Hunter Hunter, because I just read The Only Good Indians and it was fabulous. I loved it. I really liked the way Stephen Graham Jones did that. And then I found out he released a book like last month or something like that called The Buffalo Hunter Hunter. And it is a period piece set in like the 1910s or 20s or something like that about Indians and buffalo hunters and vampires. What? It's like, yes, please. I'll take that one. Well, maybe not as soon as possible because I've already got plans for next month, but probably sooner rather than later. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Once again, this is an easy one because there is only one release for the entire year other than Buffalo Hunter Hunter that I want to read. I'm like just chomping at the bit to get, and it is All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. It does not get much better than Ken. He is just one of those. He traveled to the spot of like, I forget where he landed on my top 10 authors of all time, but he went there immediately after. I've read almost everything he's ever written, which is rare for me because I have like ADD when it comes to writing, but it's also not too hard to do because he's only got a couple books out. And you know what? He's a forever, whatever, day one buy for me from here on out. He's that good. Really. If you haven't read something by him, please do yourself a favor. Biggest disappointment. This is another easy one. It's the only book I've DNF'd the entire year so far, and it is Empire of the Vampire. I have an entire video about why that book is so terrible and what was so awful about it and why I hated it so very much. But so I'm not going to repeat myself here, but I will just say biggest disappointment, hands down, Empire of the Vampire. You get what I'm saying. Don't waste your time. Biggest surprise. I'm going to say Mockingbird by Walter Tevis. This was the Patreon pick for this month, as a matter of fact, and you can call it recency bias because I just finished the book literally less than a week ago. But I was so invested. I could not believe by the end of the book how good that book was. And I didn't know what to expect. It was just the Patreon pick, and it was thrown at me by a patron. And I looked into the author, and he's done like The Queen's Gambit to The Color of Money to like these weird books about chess and pool, and then The End of the World with the Mockingbird book. And I'm like, what the heck is this going to be? Oh, utter brilliance. That's what it's going to be. But it was a big surprise. Especially, I don't want to spoil my own video because I will be reviewing that probably next week. But like, from where it started to where I ended, because I wasn't super hyped in the middle of the book, to where my emotions were by the end of it was just the roller coaster ride of the year, for sure, as far as a book experience is concerned. And I was so surprised with how much I genuinely adored it by the end of it. So, Mockingbird, Walter Tevis. Favorite new author. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is such a hard one. This one really was hard because this year I've got new authors I've never read before. I've got like Bernard Cornwell, Kurt Vonnegut, Terry Pratchett, that Walter Tevis, Bram Stoker. Like there are some huge hitters in like the author genre. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it to Kurt Vonnegut, just for Slaughterhouse-Five and how good and impressive that book was. But I would say a close second is probably Terry Pratchett and Walter Tevis from that Mockingbird book. And I could see either Terry Pratchett or Walter taking over and liking them more in the future once I've got a couple more of everybody's books under my belt. But as of right now, with only having read one from all of them, I'm gonna have to say Kurt Vonnegut. Newest fictional crush. Yeah, that's not a thing. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a grumpy old man. It's not a thing. Newest favorite character. I'm going to say probably, that's a tough one. I almost want to say Leland Gaunt from Needful Things because he's just so well done. And I love Stephen King's characters, especially that gnarly bad guy that he gives you in that book. But I think I'm gonna have to say no and move over and do Durfel from The Winter King. Because once again, that could have probably gone under biggest surprise as well, because I was genuinely surprised how much not only I liked that book, but how much I liked that character. And it's such a weird idea to go, we're going to do an Arthurian retelling and give you a brand new invented character that's not a part of the story. Normally that's a recipe for disaster. It's like the Mortal Kombat movie when they were like, what if we didn't use a Mortal Kombat character and we had that Chase character, whatever the hell his name was. Horrible. No, don't do that ever. Unless your name is Bernard Cornwell and you create the character Durfel, then I guess it's okay. I don't know. Don't ask questions. Book that made you cry. Actually, so far, hasn't happened yet. Book that made you happy. Again, I want so badly to say A Wild Sheep Chase because there's something about, I just like a good Haruki Murakami book. It's like going back into a nice warm blanket. I was so stunningly, happily surprised when it was just as wonderful as up there. It's probably going to be up on towards the top of my Haruki Murakami books that how much I enjoyed it. I loved it so much, but I'm actually going to go with the answer of Guards. That made me genuinely happy, not only because the comedy hit and the comedy was genuinely well done. It was so good. It was so funny. I loved it a lot. And I didn't know if I would. I was really kind of tentative. Went into it with an open mind, but I was really braced to not like it because that kind of comedy normally doesn't work for me. And I just didn't, I gave it a chance, but I didn't fully expect to like it. And I really liked it. I laughed out loud. I liked the book. I liked everything about it. So I'm going to say the one that made me the most happy just reading it and then actually it overcoming the barriers that it had in its way is Terry Pratchett's Guards. What is the most beautiful book that you have bought this year? And that's an easy one as well. It's going to be The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami. Of course, by the Folio Society, because they don't do bad work. They've never done a bad book in their entire existence. It's just the best thing you could possibly own in literature is a Folio Society edition of anything. So, Wind Up Bird Chronicle. And last but not least, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I don't know even how to answer this one. I guess I'll say Malazan, because I'm doing that read through. I've been doing that read through for the better part of a year, and I need to finish it. And I just don't know why I feel like feels like a silly answer, because of course I'll finish it. I'm 2 books from the end, and I'm right in the middle of Toll the Hounds, which, fun fact, the name of that book is Toll the Hounds. I've been calling it Toll of the Hounds for I don't know, the past 8 months or something like that. And nobody's corrected me that I've been throwing an extra word in there for no reason. Anyway, I'm in the middle of Toll the Hounds. What was I saying? Anyway, yeah, Malazan. I would also say I need to finish Inuyasha, but I'm legitimately 2 volumes away, 2 of the big Fizbigs volumes away from finishing that. So anyway, those 2, I really need to finish them. One, because I'm trying to finish it for my daughter. That's Inuyasha. And the other one is because it's the biggest series I have tackled in ever, maybe? Holy crap. Is that true? Man, as far as series, I think it is. I think the other biggest thing I did was The Expanse, and it's 9 books, and this one's 10. So yeah. Anyway, Malazan. Anyway, once again, thanks again to Murphy Napier for the inspiration and the questions to this video. And as always, the link for my Patreon is in the description below. The link for my Discord's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.